Hello viewers, welcome to what we call Against All Odds, Glimpses of Greatness. That is because this evening we will pay special tribute to Tobago Greats who in the last 50 years have helped to shape the nationhood that we now enjoy. It is very little known that Tobagonians have contributed massively to our progress in several spheres of national life. And what I therefore hope to do over the next 60 minutes is to share some of these major accomplishments in the eras they occurred, from the time we became the nation of Trinidad and Tobago, exchanging the Union Jack for the red, white, and black in 1962. It may surprise many viewers to know that even before this country had taken down the Union Jack, under the leadership of Chief Minister Eric Williams, the founding father of nationhood, Trinidad and Tobago had called on the services of Tobagonians. I make reference to two stalwarts who were functioning at a very high level in the then civil service, namely C.R. Otley and Victor Bruce. Yes, before Prime Minister Eric Williams had taken the oath of office as Prime Minister, he had already encountered at the highest level of our very small civil service at the time, Carlton R. Otley, working in the area of social welfare and community development and helping to shape policies that would later on carry Trinidad and Tobago safely through the first decade or so of social development. A little further away from his office, Victor Bruce was in charge of our public finances and also addressing aspects of budgeting. These two Tobagonians had given the earliest signal to Dr. Eric Williams that there were special qualities about Tobagonians that he had to keep close to him. It therefore was no surprise that he invested much in a young barrister from Scarborough in the person of Arthur N.R. Robinson, firstly in the 1956 elections. And even though he was not successful, he persevered with Robinson, that he ultimately made the government of Dr. Eric Williams when he was able to win a seat in the 1961 elections. So Trinidad and Tobago went to independence on August 31st, 1962, with Arthur N.R. Robinson installed in the cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago, along with another Tobago colleague, Basil Pitt. They were in the first cabinet of the newly created nation. In the 1960s, three other Tobago stalwarts came to prominence in the Eric Williams administration. They played critical roles in helping to improve the country's economic status, and also invested in transformative strategies in the area of community development and culture. I make reference to Doddridge Allen, Eugenio Moore, and Jacob Delwood Elder. Interestingly, all three hailed from Charlottesville. In the case of Doddridge Allen, it is important to note that he was a super technocrat in the public service. He had leadership responsibilities at one time in petroleum, finance, planning, and development. And by the end of the 60s, he was already ushered in a place as head of the public service, the first Tobago son to hold that position. Doddridge Allen was also significantly recognized alongside Eugenio Moore for the establishment of a number of state enterprises, as this means of administering the affairs outside of ministries was now being adopted, alongside the trust of the then Prime Minister to allow some of the energy assets to be nationalized. Eugenio Moore was considered a special advisor to Dr. Eric Williams in the 60s. As a matter of fact, he played a pivotal role in the development of the first 5-year plan for the country. And in 1968 to 73, he was the main architect of that development plan and continued to contribute to the subsequent plan after 1973. Eugenio Moore had his important role as also chairman of a couple of the state boards of the time. So together, Eugenio Moore and Doddridge Allen impacted the economic life of Trinidad and Tobago by some of the policies that they were associated with in the early period of nationhood. Enter Jacob Delwood Elder, 1966, returning from the University of Pennsylvania, where he had just completed his PhD in anthropology. He was placed in the administration as a field organizer for the Best Village competition, started in 1962. It has been indicated in the past that even the early framework for the Best Village competition had some inputs from Dr. J.D. Elder. But now he was back to serve Prime Minister Eric Williams in the whole area of culture and community development.
According to the definition of the post by the CPO and such persons, I am supposed, in the first instance, to advise government through the Minister of Culture and so on upon the cultural development program as a national undertaking. Apart from that, I am to assist that ministry, not merely by advising them, but by actually going into the field and training government officers who are involved in culture and the arts with respect to Caribbean culture in general and the culture of Trinidad and Tobago in particular.